that, guys. Part 2. I wanted to talk a little bit about what actually constitutes toxic, like toxic behavior. Like what does that actually mean? Like what is toxic, you know? And again, because I said everybody's level and level of tolerance is actually like different, right? Okay, so I just want to read it because I have it on my phone. Okay, so here I'm just gonna read some of the things that it says. Okay, if your partner always puts you down or makes you feel bad about yourself, it may be time to take a step back and reevaluate the relationship. If your partner tries to control what you do, isolate you from your friends and family, or makes decisions for you without your input, it's a sign of a toxic relationship. Okay, I mean, you can just type this in on Google, right? And type in, toxic behaviors in relationships. That's all. Just type that in. Okay, and you can do your own research and discover different things about toxic behaviors, right? Criticism, contempt, defensiveness, and stonewalling. Okay, just like not talking to you at all. Now, let me talk to you about something about stonewalling, right? Because when sometimes people, stonewalling is very toxic on a lot of levels, right? Especially avoidance. Avoidance will tend to just shut down and avoid their feelings altogether, not want to talk to you, not want to talk about anything. If you even get upset about anything. I mean, I was once with this one guy who, basically, if I got upset about something or whatever, he would just shut down. Just like not talk. Just like not talk at all. And he was a very avoidant. He would literally just run. Like, it was like an emotional running, but he definitely would just like run. Right? And he was avoiding his emotions all the time. He was very emotionally avoidant, that's very toxic. That can literally, that's a sign, that's stonewalling. They call it stonewalling, right? Now, some people do that on purpose to spite you, to make you upset. They literally want to not talk to you to make you upset, to send you a signal. Sometimes some people do it because they are, they've learned games online that are like, don't talk to them, ignore them, and it's going to make them come to you faster. It's going to make them come to you. And again, that's games. That's, that's manipulation is what it is. It's manipulation. And it should not be used in a real loving relationship, a real loving, like marital, relationship, right? Also, it shouldn't be, you take a chance on that, because somebody who is considered securely attached, like myself, where I'm not overly anxious to talk, I'm not overly anxious, right? And I'm not overly, like, I gotta know where you are all the times. I gotta figure this out. I gotta figure you out. I gotta track you here, there, and everywhere. And I gotta, look, I had this one lady, I had a client tell me, she was a little younger, but she was like, I smell my boyfriend's private parts when he comes home to make sure he hasn't been sleeping on me or, sleeping around. I was like, girl, what? Bye. Oh no, you out of your mind. She was, that's the only way I can tell. That's the only way you could tell? First of all, you gotta do that every single time? Okay, yeah, I couldn't be with you. We would not even be together. If I had that much insecurity in the person that I was with, thinking that he was going to cheat on me every time he stepped out the door, yeah, I just can't put up with that. Like, I got too much other things, important things to do with my life, with my time. I'm not going to waste energy, time, no way. It's just not like that. I literally would just have to dump him. I was floored. I mean, I was really floored. Like, are you kidding me? Like, you actually do that? And she was like, girl, yes. Okay, to me, I would look at that as toxic. Personally, I would think that, either she's super insecure and that's toxic, or he's given her reason for it to be that way, and that's toxic. So one of the two, if not both, are toxic, okay? And for me, you see, at that level, I'm cutting you off. Like, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not going to even do it. I'm not even going to play that game. I'm not even going to entertain. Game over for me. All right. Okay. I always got to check these cars behind me and everything. Okay. So anyway, if you're playing games like, ignore that person, I'm not going to talk to that person, because I want him to, chase me, or I want her to chase me. First of all, let's just get real. Let's just get it straight. The Bible talks about that. The Bible says that the man should find the woman. Okay. That is the correct way. The man should find the woman. And the man should be taking the action. That is the correct way, the way you were actually designed. Okay. But in the Bible, or he never talks about he never said anything about being, toxic, or, ignoring somebody to make him come find you. That's not what we're doing here, right? Now, these games and things that you'll see online and stuff, they'll work, because you can, if you ignore somebody, you put your energy back, it does usually tend to make that person think about you more, or maybe want to, talk to you more, or, or whatever. But a person who experiences that, and if they are securely attached like myself, I look at that as, okay, the person doesn't want to talk to me, they don't love me. That's it. To me, it's just as simple as, if that person wanted to talk to me, that's a sign of loving me, right? And if they don't want to talk to me, and I want to talk to them, but they're ignoring me, or ignoring my phone calls, or being passive aggressive, or playing that game or whatever, I don't look at it as a game. I look at it as, simply put, that's a sign or a signal that person doesn't want to be with me, right? And I just look at it as time to go. It's time to move on. You don't want to stay anywhere where you're not really invited, and you definitely want to stay anywhere past your expiration date. Like, if that person doesn't really want to be with you, or doesn't really want to hear from you or see you or whatever, I mean, there's no other option. But that's how I look at it, right? If a person's very toxic or immature or playing games, or, youthful in their mind or something, they might take that as a, oh, he wants me to chase him. Or their anxious attachment style will start going crazy. Their anxious attachment style will start going off, and it'll be like, oh my God, I gotta call him, I gotta chase him, I gotta hound him down, I gotta find him, I gotta run, whatever, right? Okay, so that's what I wanted to bring out when it comes to stonewalling. Okay, so stonewalling is very toxic, because it can send the wrong signals, right? Okay, now the proper way to stonewall, if you want to stonewall, right, or really just not talk to that person, like, let's say you are having an issue about something, like maybe you wanted your man or your significant other to spend more time with you, or maybe you were supposed to have an evening together, and he's putting it off and doing things that he wants to do, and like, yeah, I'm coming to spend time with you in a minute. And he's, still watching his TV show, or watching his podcast, whatever, right? And you're over there waiting. And then eventually you get upset and you just leave, because you're like, you know what? You're not putting me first or whatever. And you just leave. And you don't want to answer his phone calls or talk to him, right? Because you're upset, and you are rightfully upset, right? So the proper way to do that is to send a message or call or whatever, and just say, you know what? My feelings are hurt right now. You hurt my feelings by not putting me first. And, I gave you time or whatever, and you didn't, hang out with me or whatever. And, my feelings are hurt, and I need a moment to evaluate my feelings. I need a moment to cool down. I need a moment to bring my words together. I need a moment to bring my thoughts together. My feelings are hurt, and I don't want to speak out of anger, and I don't want to speak out of disrespect. Right? So when you say that, especially to a man, when you say that, it's usually like they understand, oh, okay, I really hurt her. But they also know, I'm not trying to be passive aggressive. I'm not trying to stonewall you. I'm not running and sticking my head in the sand. And I'm not being an avoidant. I'm just simply telling you that I'm a little overwhelmed by my angry thoughts or my angry feelings, or I'm hurt. My feelings are hurt, and you caused the hurt feelings. And now I kind of need a minute to not look at your face. And usually you want to give a time. Like, you want to say, you know what, give me, I'll talk with you tomorrow. Okay. I will call you tomorrow. Right. Like, if you don't live in the same house or something, or maybe you do, but whatever, you might say, you know what, good night. I'm going to bed, and I will talk with you about this tomorrow. So that's how if you want to stonewall, or basically stop talking, right? And now what you've done, though, is you're not playing games. You're being upfront and honest, and you're expressing your hurt feelings, right? Okay. And now you're just saying, I need a minute so that I don't disrespect you, or so I don't come off as wrong, or, whatever. But that also gives him the opportunity to think about how he's treated you, right? How he's treated you, right? And I had somebody do that to me, and that's exactly what I said, exactly what I did, right? And I proceeded to write him a book. It was really cute because I was really upset, and I wouldn't answer because I said I wasn't going to, and so he sent me a picture of his face, basically, but what he was showing me was his sadness and the puffiness around his eyes, because I guess I made him cry, which is so cute. It was really sweet, actually. But I just thought about that, like, I was just thinking about that. Anyway, and I never forgot that, because, it was a healthy way of expressing your feelings and taking a minute, time out, whatever, and expressing that. And he had the opportunity to also think about his actions and apologize, right? Okay, so that's healthy. Not healthy or toxic, basically, is the opposite. It's running from your feelings. It's leaving people on red. It's ignoring them on purpose, ignoring them to try to get them to chase after you or call you or to evoke an emotion. Now, I know men who have done this. Like, they live off of this toxic nature. They live for that. They live to see a woman go crazy. I know so many men who do this, actually. They purposely trick you. I got so many girlfriends that are in this situation. And I tell them all the time, I'm like, he's triggering you. He's triggering you on purpose. Like, he's triggering a response out of you. Like, that's what he's doing. And they're like, yeah, you think so? Of course that's what he's doing. Like, he knows that upsets you. He knows that doing XYZ upsets you. And it triggers you. And he's doing it. Like, you've already expressed that to him. Like, you've already told him that. And he still does it. He likes to see you get jiggy with it. He likes to see you getting all crazy and wild, because that speaks love to him. I've had men even say that. Like, oh, I know that a woman loves me when she is going off, when she is, hitting and screaming and biting and, leaving marks, or, like, I knew one man who said he actually liked it. He actually liked getting pinched. He said he liked pain. He told me that. And I didn't pinch him out of an argument. I did it one day just tickling him. And he was like, oh, I love pain. Do it again. And I was like, what? What is wrong with you? And he even said, like, even if I'm upset, he said he liked it. He said he liked feeling pain. And that was because of the way he was raised. It was like, honestly, it's like when your heart turns to stone and your heart turns cold, or when you run from your feelings and your emotions and you're not a person to actually address your feelings and emotions, sometimes you don't even realize you've been doing it for so long. You don't even realize it, right? That the only way you can feel is when somebody literally pinches you or when there's chaos around you, when there's a lot of chaos, right? Or let's say you do the whole thing in your relationship. You do the whole break up, make up, break up, make up, break up, make up, break up, make up, that whole thing, right? Back and forth, in and out, in and out, in and out. Toxic. It's like ding, 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 red flags, okay? If you break up to make up, 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 okay, that's toxic. All day long, toxic, right? Because what happens is a lot of men, the minute they get you or they have you and things get calm or whatever, they can hardly go 2 days without stirring up trouble or stirring up something or trying to provoke you into some sort of behavior, right? So that you get upset and you leave, right? Or I'm out of here, I'm going to stay with my friends. And now, after 2 or 3 days without you, or whatever, they start to miss you. Or, for a man, he might just be, ready to get down with it again. And it's like, oh, I better apologize so that I can, get back in her good, get it back on her good side. Right. And, but if anybody stops long enough to think about the cycle that you're on, somebody is starting this, right? And it's feeding into each other's, you know, unconsciously feeding into each other's issues, or, you know, making each other feel good. Like, it's at some level, it's feeling good to somebody, for sure, you know. I have seen men do this. I've literally seen men do this. And I don't play those games. See, because when my level of toxicness is like down here, like way down, you know, down here, and the man that I'm dealing with, his level of toxic behaviors of acceptability, or what he's used to, or even what makes him feel normal is like way up here, we're going to have a clash, and it's going to be like, oh no, it doesn't match. We don't match. This is not a match, right? Until somebody decides to heal and elevate, deal with their emotions, deal with their feelings, deal with the issues, actually be honest with themselves about what's really happening or what's really going on. How do they really feel, right? If, you know, and ask themselves, like, do I really love this person? Or do I just love what they do for me? Or, you know, do I love the crazy chaos that they bring me? Do I like being in crazy chaos? And especially if I chose crazy chaos, chaotic, you know, toxic behavior love over a person who was calm, supportive, nurturing, loving. And why did I run over here and stick my head in the sand? And why did I feel like this was better for me? You know, it's like I chose a plate of poison over a plate of fruits and vegetables. Okay? And if you actually just think about that, like, if you actually just think to yourself and then start working on that, like, and then it may dawn on you that there have been a lot of other things in your life that you've done the same thing, or a lot of other choices or decisions you made in your life that have that were the same way, right? And so I'm hoping to evoke just a little bit of thought, or, you know, just a little bit of thought process as to why or how, you know, you might have arrived or got into a place where you are. Right? So maybe somebody decided not to pursue a relationship with you. So maybe somebody, you know, decided to walk away from you, like leave you, because of your level of toxic behaviors, right? And maybe you're actually, maybe in the past, that pattern of breaking up to get back together, or breaking up to get back together was cute. Or maybe it was something y'all did before. And now it's not an option. It's not something it's not cute anymore. And it's not, going to be a repeated behavior for that person who left you. Right. And it could be because she's elevated, you know, or she's gotten hip to the game or whatever, or she's decided to just, you know, change, you know, to be better, smarter, wiser, whatever, and make better choices in men, maybe choices in everything, you know? But some men, if they're still in a very toxic state or unhealthy state of mind, they might interpret that actual breakup or actual leaving, walking out the door that the woman has done. They might interpret that as, oh, that's a sign she wants me to chase her. Let me go bring her flowers and love bomb her and try to, you know, sweet talk her way, because this is what she wants, because this is what love is, because this is what I saw my parents do. Or this is what I saw my family do. Or this is what I see on TV, and I think that this is love. And I'm supposed to chase. You understand what I'm saying? Levels of toxicness. Okay, so it's like all in how you interpret it. He's interpreting this behavior as one way, and she's absolutely interpreting and actually meaning for it to be a completely different thing, right? And so it's like, I just want to kind of provoke maybe a deeper thought process when it comes to relationships, and when it comes to, you know, just different things, because I do feel like, especially with men, I feel women are usually a little bit more eager to do self-work, to do healing, to, do research, or to do counseling, or to do, just anything to do with basically bettering relationships and stuff like that. We'll do more. We do most of the research, talking about it, working on it, right? A lot of men, they don't. So it's kind of my goal that, I just figure, because talking for me is therapy and getting some things out. And I also know that I might have several males in my background, or, exes, or just people I'm not talking to anymore, or whatever, who also may be interested in what I have to say, because simply because it's me. So I figure if they take the time to watch a video, or to basically spy on me, or check me out, to see what I'm doing, because I'm not talking to them, I figure maybe I can get them to get some growth in their brain and change some of their behaviors to be a little bit more healthy, right? And maybe even if they've moved on to new relationships, or they have other women in their life or whatever, and she might even decide, well, who was that ex that he was with? Let me see what she's about, and let me watch her and spy on her too. And maybe she can learn some things too, right? Or at least create some thoughts, like at least create a different thought process, right? And maybe create change, healthy change, growth, because everybody should be elevating and growing. I mean, it should not be your goal to stay the same. I mean, Jesus Christ didn't do it. Jesus Christ did not even do it. He was on earth, and he's a Christian, and he didn't do it. Okay. So, positive change and growth is the goal, and whatever is going to, get you there, whatever is going to get you there, and encourage you to do that, whether it be, just yourself and your own self-reflection, or if it's watching a video of somebody you're just nosy about. Again, okay, so I did go off on a tangent there. I did talk about the major signs of being toxic or whatever. I think I did go over those 4 traits. Yep, defensive. So, yep, okay, stonewalling. I did all that. Let me see. If there's anything else that I wanted to talk about. Oh, okay, I'll bring these up. Hostility, dishonesty, disrespect, dependence. Now, dependence is one of those things that is going to change depending on what you got going on. Like if somebody's sick in the hospital and they need help, they're going to be dependent on you. That's what your mate is for. Okay? But being codependent or whatever is like basically you're with somebody because you can't live without them, right? I mean, you can't pay your bills without them. You can't maybe you just need their energy. I mean, there's a lot of different things. Money usually tends to be the number one thing. But like, even if I shared the example of, my friend that got married on his lunch break. And yes, he did have kids. And at one point he apparently had feelings for this girl, but he didn't. He really didn't. I mean, he was very clear about that. But he still got married to her because it's what she wanted. And, but she's dependent on him to basically help with the kids or whatever. And he literally said to me that, if he leaves her, he's going to have to pay more in child support. And he feels that he's the better parent anyway. But he feels like he is the better parent, and he would have to pay more money, and it's just cheaper to keep her. And that's what I mean. So it's like they're codependent on each other, right? So that's actually toxic. It's actually very toxic. It's actually not healthy, but people know this. They do it all day, every day, and they still choose to be in it, right? Even if the person is not someone that they're even in love with or even whatever, they just do that, right? Let me see. I'm looking on the rest of the list. Intimidation. Physical violence. Oh, yeah, that goes without saying. Physical violence is absolutely toxic. It's toxic AF. Okay, it's as toxic as it gets. You know, you raise your hand to a woman, yeah. If you have that much of a lack of self-control, and I'm not talking about defending yourself. I'm just talking about straight responding to, or, you know, just responding or communicating in that way of hitting, biting, screaming, slapping, whatever. Toxic AF. All the way. Toxic. Like, that won't fly with me. You have one opportunity to do that with me, and that will be the last time you see me. So you better get it right. Because I know for me, I don't play fair, because I'm going to get mine right. Because I'm not aiming for doing this over and over and over again. I won't do it over and over again. Literally, it will not be a repeat. I don't play that. I definitely wasn't raised like that. I definitely don't come by that. I definitely don't do that. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, physical violence, sexual violence, or yeah, and sexual hyperactivity. Okay, so those are all toxic. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to read what it says. What are toxic personality traits? Negative characteristics or behaviors that harm oneself or others. These traits, such as manipulation, dishonesty, excessive criticism, can poison relationships, hinder personal growth, and create hostile environments. Toxic traits often stems from unresolved emotional issues or learned behaviors. So, you know, when we say a learned behavior, meaning, well, I saw my mom do this, or I saw my dad do this, and I'm going to do this too. So you learned to do this, right? So, for example, if your wife likes to bite you whenever she doesn't like to get her way, she likes to bite you and hit you, and then you have a child that goes to school, and when they don't get their way, they want to bite and hit the other children, right? That's a learned behavior. Like, the child saw mom do that, and now they're doing that, right? That's learned. Okay, so these are all, literally, you can just type it in, and you can literally go on Google and just read some of these things. It's very, very easy, basic, classic research and easy stuff to do. Like, you can literally do this yourself. I'm just reading it. Okay. But manipulation, remember, it's anything where you are doing something and you're not being like straight up about it or being honest about it, and you're doing this particular thing to evoke a response that you want, right? But you're doing it in an underhanded way so that it's like it's coming across as one thing, right? So let me give you another example of manipulation. Let's say you are wanting to, you know, buy your girl a gift, right? You bring over a gift of groceries or whatever, gift of something she wants, or, you know, whatever it could be, right? And you're saying it's because I heard you were sick, right? And I want to give you a gift. I heard you were sick. And that's what you say, right? But your real intention for buying her something, or buying her anything, or buying her a gift or flowers or food or whatever, was not really because she was sick. It was really because you want to appear to be an angel or appear to be, you want to get her back. Maybe you just try to get somebody back. Like, you want to, you know, get back with that person, or you want to trick them in some sort of way. Like, you want them to think one thing, right? But instead of you just saying to that person, I love you, I miss you, and I want you back in my life, you know, and I was wrong to let you go, or I was wrong for doing XYZ, right? And I'm sorry for doing that. I apologize. I put you in this position, or whatever. And I love you, and now I'm offering this gift, right? So now she knows where the gift is coming from. She's very clear that this is like, I'm bringing you flowers because I was wrong, and I love you, and I care about you, and I want you back in my life, or whatever. Now, not to say that depending on whatever happened or whatever the issue was, I'm not saying that that's what's going to work, depending on what the situation is, right? But I'm talking about the motivation. I'm talking about your motivation for doing XYZ. you're saying one thing and it's really for something else, right? Again, it's the same thing with these people who like, I'm going to ignore my wife, or I'm going to ignore my husband. I'm not going to tell him why I'm mad at him. I'm not going to give him any idea as to why I'm mad. I'm just going to storm up out of here or whatever and just not talk to him and not give him sex for 3 days. And I'm going to stonewall him. And, but because I want him to call me and chase me down in like a day, or, I want to feel his emotion of wanting and missing me tomorrow. And so I have to ignore him or whatever to get him to come to me. Again, you are taking a risk when you do things like that and you play these manipulation and manipulative, toxic type of games, because depending on how toxic the person is that you're dealing with, that may or may not speak to them. And if it used to speak to them, or she ever misinterpreted those things, right? And now she's, she's different now. She's elevated or whatever. She's, chose to view these things differently. Now you're playing a game, and now you're not saying your true feelings. You're not actually saying your true feelings. You're literally playing games like when you're in high school. And some people never learn this. Some people literally never, ever learn this for some reason. Men especially, they seem to just kind of like, are kind of usually very slow to the game. Very slow. Anyway, and I'm just sharing these things because I happen to be a person that just kind of shares her feelings. I just share my feelings. Whatever my feelings are, I just share them, right? And then, I will share my feelings. I will be honest, and I'm a very upfront person. I don't leave any man on red. I've never done. I don't do that. I just don't. I'm a communicator. I am absolutely a communicator. And if I don't communicate with you, it's because I need a moment to formulate my words and to gather my thoughts and get my feelings under control, because I might be angry, right? And I don't want to be disrespectful. So I literally have learned to say, you know what? I'm going to have to, come back to this topic tomorrow when I have some time or whatever, right? But I'm very, very open, right? And so for me, if I know that I've done and I've communicated over and over and over again, like, hey, I don't like it when you don't, answer your phone call, or I don't like it when, you, XYZ or whatever. And that person is still doing it, especially like to evoke a emotion out of me, or to get that, oh, I want her to come and chase me or whatever. For me, I take that as like, I literally interpret that as, he doesn't love me. He doesn't want me. He doesn't love me. He doesn't like me or whatever. And okay, if I've shared that this is how I feel, or this is what makes me feel that way, and he does it anyway, to me, it's just the next logical thought is that person, doesn't care about my feelings. He doesn't really respect my feelings. He doesn't, it's not important to him. That's just how I interpret it. Okay, there's no love there. Like, the love is not there. The love has left the building, right? And because I don't play games, right? So I don't think to myself, oh, this person is trying to play a game. I don't think like that at all, because I don't play games. I am very, very upfront about everything, and honest, about things. So, that's why I'm speaking all these things out loud, is because I feel as I reflect on my past relationships, and as I've been reflecting on just different parts to the different experiences and things that I've had, and as I've just, like I said, as I even talk with my clients, my girlfriends, people, and we share experiences and stuff, I realize like I really do actually come to relationships very healthy, very securely attached, and very honest. And there really are a lot of unhealed men out there who just don't even know how to deal with a healthy woman. They don't know how to deal with it. They just really fumble her. And I am not by any means in a state of anger. I'm not angry at all. I really am not angry. And I am not even upset, because like I said, by the time now that I'm talking about this, it's been 6 months since my last relationship. Now I've just been having fun and enjoying going out on dates, and just being very lively and playful, and just not taking anything too seriously right now, because basically because it's nice to just kind of like not have to worry about toxicity. I don't know how else to say it, you know, but as I continue to think about these things, I just, you know, because I genuinely care. I genuinely care. And also, like I said, it's a part of my therapy, but I genuinely care about anybody who was in my past. Honestly, there's still a level of actual care there, to the point of, like, you know, knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. And so if I can impart some knowledge or whatever to maybe help their next relationship, or their next you know, or future relationships, or maybe even their children or whatever, and if I can be helpful in that manner, you know, just by me maybe expressing, you know, different points of view and things like that, then I feel like, hey, I've done a good deed, you know, because that's my goal. It's just like, let's just kind of get it out there. Let's talk about some of these things, right? And why that might have spoke to me a level of toxicity, but not to you, right? Or not to the other person or whatever. And so anyway, that's kind of all I wanted to go over. So this will, I guess, because I had to break the video up, so I guess this will have to be part 2. Part 1 was before. So that was enough talking for tonight. And yeah, that's it. Good night. See ya.